If you could restart your current or past serious relationship to get more prepared, would you? Now, there were quite a few people. I don't know exactly how many people participated, but I think it was about 50. And I think it was 37 out of 50 said yes. And 13 out of 50 said no. We have a particular comment because only one person commented, and I want to share that. All right. Can you share that comment?
Absolutely. I believe all past and current relationships have taught me something and enabled me to have growth and become the person God wanted me to be. I thank my past relationships as they all have encouraged me, good or bad lessons, to be my true self, the person I am today. Hashtag growth.
That was a good perspective.
That was.
You know what I'm saying?
That was.
However, it was good, because she learned from her experiences.
Her past relationships, yep.
Exactly. But the reality is that some people grow and learn, but most crash and burn.
That's true.
And unfortunately, that's how it goes. And I'm not implying that, anybody's perfect or when you get into a relationship, everything is perfect.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got to learn on the job, right?
Absolutely.
Especially when you get in the marital relationship or even just the monogamous relationship, you got to learn sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And we grow as we go. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, even in this quarantine, babe, there are a lot of people that are experiencing a lot of friction because they weren't ready at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you have to be totally prepared because we do learn. We learn in our relationships. However, it's always good to have a little map before you enter the woods, right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
So you don't get lost.
Absolutely. So we're going to dig into this.
Let's go.
Was I ready or what? Did I rush? Or did I rush or was I ready? All right. So today we want to just share an idea with you guys, and we call it the 3 areas of relationship readiness. Because some of you might ask, like, when is the right time, or was I ready? I'm not sure.
Or what makes you ready?
Or what makes you ready?
Right.
So we just wanted to dig into that and kind of share our experiences and all that.
Now
with
these
you guys.
are our readies.
Yes.
They may not be your readies.
Right.
Although I believe that everyone should be ready in these areas.
Right.
These were the areas that we pulled together on, and we were like, were we ready in these areas when we said I do? Maybe, maybe not.
And
Let's find out.
These are pillars. These are necessary pillars. We can go a little deeper. However, we think that these are kind of the 3 things that actually hold up a relationship.
Yes.
Or ultimately determine the success.
Yes.
So the 3 areas are, the first one is financial readiness. The second one is mental readiness. And the third one is emotional readiness. And I'm going to be honest. Was I ready? I don't think I was ready. I don't think that we rushed.
I know I wasn't ready.
You wasn't ready?
I was not ready.
He wasn't ready.
She wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Yes, but the beautiful thing is that I don't believe that we rushed, but we could have waited.
Definitely.
Right.
I agree with that 100%.
I think that we could have waited a little longer. And there are a lot of benefits in waiting. However, we'll get into that a little later. So we just kind of want to share a few things. And you might be asking, was I ready? And really, readiness is actually determined by the individual or the individuals.
Yeah.
It's how do you define readiness? Because some people might have defined it a little different. For example, like a person might feel like they're not ready until they get financially totally stable, till they get that career together, till they get their home together, until they even their mental capacity to be stable. So it really depends on the person.
It does because you have people, like you said, on the flip side, who get married extremely young, and to everyone else around them, they were not ready. Don't do it. You're gonna crash and burn. You're never gonna make it. This is too soon. Why would you wait? Why would you do this right now?
Right.
And they've made it. They have sustained a 20-year marriage, and they could be 35. You know what I'm saying? So it is never a get all your ducks in a row and all everybody's ducks are exactly the same.
Right.
For each individual or for each couple, those ducks may look different.
Right. And Tiffany actually said spiritually too. Absolutely. We just left that one off because I believe that the spiritual has to do with the mental and the emotional. It's actually intertwined. So if you're not spiritually prepared, you're not emotionally or mentally prepared.
Right.
So we just kind of left that one off the table because that one is kind of broad.
It's very
it brings
broad,
everything
right?
together.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Tiffany.
And a lot of times, and I hate to bring this up, but a lot of times we can think that we're spiritually ready, and we not be mentally, emotionally, or financially ready, right? Because a lot of us jump into relationships because we're so spiritually ready,
right?
And a lot of times we crash and burn because the spirit is not the thing that sustains us throughout.
Right, God sustains us, but also
us,
our behavior.
But a lot of our behaviors sustain where we go in life.
Absolutely.
Because everything is based on choice.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we want to just share our story a little bit of how we kind of not how we got together, but some of the things that we struggle with. Because to be honest, we struggle. Ooh. I mean, you know what? No, you know what? I can't say we struggle.
No, we didn't.
We didn't struggle, but
we struggled financially, though.
Yes,
we was broke.
Oh, we
as
were broke
as
a
joke. Like
we
for
got
real.
Together, I'm telling you.
It wasn't even funny. Like we was so broke.
Right.
How broke were we, baby?
We were very broke.
Tell them how broke we were.
We were broke to the point to where, when we first got together, I was doing construction, and I was laid off like in the winters and things like that. And I was still a young man, still trying to, out of before that, a bad relationship, trying to recover and all that. So trying to get my financial affairs in order and things like that. However, I was working, construction. We had time down, in the winter time, and I was, driving like one of the company vans, and it wasn't mine.
Stuff, Tiffany.
I believe at the moment, I believe my license was suspended. And remember, you used to call me, and I think my phone had got cut off. And then there was a payphone. Y'all remember payphones? Hey, what's up, Toria? Stacy, what's going on? Stacy said, Toria, you look beautiful, girlfriend.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. But
Tiffany, I just saw your comment too. I just saw it.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Married young.
Yes.
Hey,
Stacy, thank you, boo.
Yes, nobody said. Well,
that's okay.
Samantha did say something about my shirt.
Your shirt is nice, baby.
Right.
Okay, back to it.
Back to what we're talking about. Well, the three, of course, what we're talking about is relationship readiness, if you will. And the three are financial, mental, and emotional. And in our story or our past, we weren't financially stable.
Right.
However, we had other areas that we were strong in that was able to sustain us. And not to get religious, but our belief in God, and our obedience, wanting to please Him and please one another, actually helped us to sustain those financial difficulties. Yeah. And I remember one time I was in my apartment, and then my gas, I think was it my gas was about to get cut off, and he was like, boy, I got you, and you came through. You came through. She came through. I
don't
like
suggest you do that, but I came through.
Right,
I was young.
Right.
I had no idea what I was doing. I just thought he was cool.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to earn me some extra brownie points. But guess what? Them brownie points didn't mean nothing.
Danielle said, keep telling us about the payphone. However, I would go to this payphone. It was right by CVS. And I used to walk because
it was on Merriman and Warren.
Merriman and Warren. I had to go to the payphone just to call you to let you know that I was at the house, because in the wintertime I had to turn in that truck that I was driving. And that bad boy was a hoopty anyway, so I didn't even really trust driving it. However, I remember, just those phone calls to where we didn't have, we would go to little places, and like our little money, we would, share little meals and
share one meal. That's why we ain't got no problem sharing right now.
No, we ain't. I got a problem with sharing.
No, you gonna share the food.
The only reason we're not sharing right now is because this table isn't big enough. Because I
would
have my own fries. I would have my own drink. Don't be coming over here. Order your own fries. Order your own stuff.
That's why we sharing right now.
Now tell me about financially, like about the restaurants.
Oh, we used to be, listen, y'all. We used to be so broke, y'all. We used to be so broke.
Yes.
We used to go to restaurants, and I used to be like, listen, Miss Waitress, Sylvia Lady, whatever your name is, something wrong with my food.
Right.
It ain't right. And they used to be like, well, what can we do for you? I don't know. Figure it out. What can you do for us? Because I ain't come here to have horrible service and terrible food.
Right.
So they would just comp us our meal. We would be so broke. And then I always ask to speak to the manager, so the manager can give me an additional meal for the following, like next time we come.
Right.
We were so broke, y'all. We were kids when we got married.
We were kids. We didn't know what we were going getting into. And babe, to be honest, a lot of you out there watching, we wasn't strong in the financial area, but we were mentally strong. although we were younger, we knew that we were partners, and we knew that we were going to get through this thing together. And here's the truth. A lot of you are struggling, even in your marriage, because unfortunately, the number one reason for divorce is financial issues. What's that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Our financial issues. And thank God that we were able to sustain one another because we were partners.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking of mindset, we number two or mental readiness. I believe that we were very strong in mental readiness, and we kind of knew what we knew what we were getting into, but we also knew that it wasn't nothing that was going to stop us. We knew that although our credit your credit was fine, but mine was tore up from the floor up. Although our income fluctuated, because I remember right after you got your apartment, you lost your job.
I had moved into the Landings apartments in Westland. I'm sure everybody's familiar with them.
Game in the system.
I moved on March 5th, okay? On March 15th, I had no job. I had no job. So he was broke because he was doing roofing, and it was winter, right? It was spring, winter, so it was still raining, and he wasn't working. He was hitting and missing.
Right.
And now I'm in this apartment, just moved out of my mama's house, and I ain't got no job. I got a car note. I got rent that got to be paid. I got credit card bills. Thank God I didn't have like student loan debt or nothing like that. But listen, we were seriously struggling.
Like just two people, needed to prioritize.
Yeah.
And neither of us had kids, and we knew that what we were getting into, but we didn't really know everything that it was going to take to sustain it. However, we did have the mental capacity along with our spiritual capacity to sustain us. So let's give me some love, so we're here today. So for those of you that are going, that are struggling right now, guess what? If you embrace the mindset of partnership and unity, you can accomplish anything.
You can.
And all that selfish things and financial, like separating, this my money, this your money, which I don't want to get into right now because that's not what this is about. However, you guys got to have mental strength. Now, think about emotionally. I think I struggled in my emotions a little bit, due to, when you've been through a lot in your past as a child, unfortunately you grow up. And if you don't deal with those things, those issues kind of manifest as an adult. So I know that I had to deal with some things in my relationship. I believe that I was emotionally ready, but I don't think that I was totally healed from some of the things that I've encountered. Could you attest to that? Do you have any experiences?
I could attest to it on your behalf. Because I was emotionally fine, okay? Because I hadn't had no relationships. I had already only had one relationship. Again, I was young, okay? So it wasn't nothing really popping
21.
off in my whole life. Like, now, I didn't know, okay? So I struggled with him and his emotions not being all the way there because he had already had a previous relationship that was like, it crashed and burned, right? So he brought in that baggage, and we had to deal with that. So we had to peel it back layer by layer, layer by layer every year.
Right. But you know what? Thank God I was able to take ownership. See, a lot of people, when they're in a relationship, is always that person.
Not initially, though. Initially, he wasn't able to take ownership.
Right.
He wasn't.
No, I'm talking about for my responsibilities or my part in my failed relationship.
Yes, in the failed relationship,
and things like that. So you got to be able to take responsibility, right? And a lot of people, they try to get into relationships and emotionally they're not really ready, because a lot of times when you've had bad experiences, you bring that over into your other relationship
all the time,
so it's important that you kind of get healed and try to get some counseling or whatever, spiritual guidance or whatever you need before you enter that relationship, because although you have good intentions and you could have a lot of money, you can have a decent mindset, but if you're destroyed emotionally, you can clam up and you won't be able to have the capacity to give that person what they need because you're so wounded.
Yeah,
right?
That is
good.
What I'm saying?
That is
really good.
In the emotional area, I want to encourage you all, you got to get ready emotionally. If you're not ready, or if you're thinking about entering into a relationship, you got to prepare yourself not just financially, but also emotionally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the other one was mentally. And that's about mindset. Like you got to have the mindset of, like, if I'm getting into a relationship, that this is forever.
Yeah.
You know, so I know that things are going to come at me. I know that I'm going to struggle. However, we're going to team up and fight against the problems.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
a lot of times we don't, when we get into relationships, we don't think about it being forever, right? We always think about the out.
21 day, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We always think about the out in the back of our minds. So if
Yeah.
it don't work out, I'm a dip. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
get
Like
outta here.
I'm just out.
Right. And you're not ready.
So
That
the
means you're not
mindset
ready.
means you're not ready. You're
Right.
not in it for the long haul. You're not in it for the long suffering of it. And who says it has to be long suffering? Because everybody's relationship doesn't have long suffering, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the mind isn't there when you first go into it,
That's right,
that
Tiff.
I'm not quitting on this, we gonna see this thing all the way through, then more than likely you probably aren't ready, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, and like we said before, I'm grubbing now. You probably want to talk a little more. I want to be having crumbs
You
in my
can't
teeth.
eat,
and
baby,
I'm trying to be conservative,
You
but I'm
can't-
hungry right
You can't
now.
eat, like that's for sure.
That's for
just
sure. That ain't for sure.
He be grubbing. Okay,
I'm eating
anyway, go
for
ahead.
sure. Right. So you want to be emotionally, you want to, although like we said before, nobody's going to be perfect,
Right.
but it's important that you be self-aware if you're pursuing a relationship or even if you're in that relationship,
That's good.
because a lot of these problems are coming out due to maybe financial issues, emotional issues, or mental issues. And I know there are other elements or variables
Oh
to
yeah,
problems,
plenty.
of course.
It's so many, right?
However, the mindset, and a lot of times disrespect occurs when we don't have the right mindset. We might be wounded and we feel that we shouldn't respect this person, and unfortunately, like you have men and women that if you have the mindset like it's okay to cheat on your lady or be in a nightclub and not coming home, you ain't ready. Right?
Yeah.
Speaking of readiness, right?
Yeah.
Right. Ladies, if you're not willing to respect your man or respect one another, maybe you're not ready.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're not ready to go out there and sacrifice everything for that lady, if you're not ready to bring home the bacon, then maybe you're not ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, and you could survive. I know that you could survive. However, everybody's not willing to go through the fire to come out good or
Yeah.
to come out refined.
Because sometimes we quit too
Right.
soon.
Absolutely.
We do. We give up way too quick.
Absolutely.
For whatever reason, maybe we've been too wounded. Maybe they didn't hurt us one too many times and we just can't see ourselves on the other side of it. But sometimes if you have a little staying power, you can make it to the other side and you can actually
That's right.
see you can see the rewards from your
Right.
relationship, right? You can see the growth from your relationship if you stick it out. Sometimes it does take a little long suffering, because especially if you get married young, you constantly evolving, your mindset is constantly changing. I remember from the time I was 21 till the time I was about 34-ish, I was probably like three different people, like three totally different people. At one point, I was just so happy to be a wife and a mother that's all I focused on. Right. And then in the middle, when my kids started to get a little bit older, I started to kind of lose myself. Well, who am I? Trying to figure out, okay, well, where is my place in all of this? Right. And then after that, when the last one went off to school, it was just like, for real. So now I'm just here and I got to sit with myself. So what do I want to do? So those were three different people. And he had to go through that little emotional roller coaster with me and be patient with me until I came out on the other side. I evolved so many times.
Absolutely.
And sometimes when we get married young, we don't consider those things because we think, I am who I am. I'm this who I'm gonna be. Like, and that's not true. Like you're not gonna be who you are at 21 at 35.
Absolutely.
It's just not you unless you stuck.
Right. Absolutely. And we're going to try to get to all of the comments.
Yes. Let me look at the comments.
But before we do, we want to just make sure that we hit a few points. But babe, this is very important. And I think everybody need to hear this, is that although we didn't have the finances and we need to, every area was a little struggle. However, the most important thing that I believe that attribute that a person should have before they enter a relationship is the right mindset.
Yeah.
Because a man with the right mindset can be broke today and rich tomorrow.
That's right.
So that mindset has to be strong. It's how you think. What's your perspective? How do you see life? How do you see God? How do you see your lady? How do you see yourself? How do you see your children? How do you see success? And if people have a great a mental capacity or growth mindset or a mindset that's prosperous or fruitful, you can accomplish anything. And I think that's what sustained us, babe. To be honest, it was our willingness or our mindset to say, you know what, we're in it to win it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really matter what come against us. We're partners, right?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
You know, so it was very important for us to have the right mindset. And I hope that you guys, if you're in a relationship or in a marriage right now, you got to have the right mindset.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times we're in a relationship and our mindset is still screwed up. You know, we're selfish. We think it's really what a man thinks in his heart.
So is he.
So is he.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to manifest.
Yeah.
So if you think that your husband doesn't deserve respect, you're not going to give it to him.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, if you think that your wife isn't good enough and she's not going to be nothing without you, guess what? That's what you're going to get.
That's how you're going to that's how you're going to treat her.
Absolutely. That's how you're going to treat her.
That's how you're going to treat her.
Absolutely.
And if he's not respectable, you're not going to respect him. Like, you're not going to give him no respect. That's
Right.
just the bottom line. And so sometimes when you marry young, you suffer through all of those things,
Absolutely.
right? And you got to try to be triumphant to make it out to the other side
Yeah.
so that you can see your victory. But sometimes it's really difficult to make it to the other side because you so scorned, you so
Right.
hurt. You know,
Right.
you've been through so much, and it's so much baggage that you carrying along the way just to make it over the hump, you know?
Absolutely.
And some people don't want to make it over that hump, or some people want to make it over that hump, but they can't see.
Yeah.
They can't see their way to the other side.
Right. And
you
because
know?
of issues, you know, because of a lot of times, because we're not ready, it's like compound pressure or hurt. You know, it's like you get into one relationship, you don't choose the right man or woman and we're going to get into the reasons why people rush.
Okay.
And then you're broken. You get into another relationship, you're even more broken. You get into another relationship, you're even more broken. So it's like you're drowning, or you have a lot of concrete, or you're in quicksand. So every time you try to build a foundation, you really build it on quicksand because you're not mentally or emotionally strong enough to stand on your own, or to stand or to stabilize that relationship that you're in. And we have a few different comments
That
here.
was good, baby.
And Tiff, you had asked, what are your thoughts on being submissive? That's a whole nother, like, we can talk all day about that.
So, right?
Just real quick, because we want to make sure that we
for me, right? And I just think for most women, submission is rooted in trust. Right?
Absolutely. That's good.
Is rooted in trust. If I can't trust you, there's no way that I can submit to you, because you have to be trustworthy in order for me to yield myself to you, right? And so most times, most men will be like, well, why you won't submit, you know? And they might not use that word anymore, right?
Right.
However, it may come across that way, like, you just won't do what I ask you to do. You just won't, you know what I'm saying? You don't rock with me. But he negates the fact that he hasn't always been trustworthy.
Right.
He hasn't always shown himself worthy of my submission, or worthy of my trust, or honorable in the sense of I yield myself to you.
Right. And it's free. When you think about, and this is a whole nother ball game, but when you think about submission, it's really about being selfless. That's why in a relationship you should submit one to another. And I don't know about you guys, what you know, because I don't want to be religious or anything. I don't want to push my thinking on people. However, you know, it depends on your government. It depends on the culture. It depends on what you believe. We talked about mindset and perspective, but in our position, I believe that we submit to another.
Pastor Bethel said, "You got to give it, but we got to earn it."
Absolutely.
That is the
PB,
bottom line. Like, we do. We have to give that respect. We have to give that honor. But fellas, you got to earn that.
Yeah.
It ain't just, I'm just going to give it to you because you the man up in here. That's how they used to do back in the day. But listen, just because I submit does not mean that I reserve my right to have a thought or to have a feeling or to
have a dream
or to verbalize what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people think because you submit, you can't say nothing. Absolutely not. My husband knows I submit.
Absolutely.
I give you, you know, control. We gonna talk about it, but ultimately it's your choice, right? However, you're gonna hear my thoughts on it. You're gonna understand how I feel on it. I'm gonna communicate that thoroughly so we don't have no miscommunication.
Right.
But he's honorable.
Right.
So he deserves.
Right. And, you know, of
My
course,
submission.
by default, especially where I don't want to get into religion.
Yeah.
However, in our customs, you know, it's almost like it's demanded. However, you know, there's a thing we talked about last week, cause and effect. You know, your disrespect affected my submission towards you.
Yeah.
You know, you calling me names affected my affection towards you. You know, so there's always cause and effect. And I'm not implying that you guys don't submit because we want to be selfless. You know, even though your husband or your wife or whatever, you know, might be a little knucklehead, but you try to submit. You give all that you can. However, know that there is cause and effect. And in our position, I consider my wife in everything, you know, because I don't know how everybody else run their household, but we're partners. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I got the ball. And as the man, that's why I love LeBron James. LeBron James is a team player. Forget what y'all talking about. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Last Dance. Get up out of here.
Last Dance.
Mike's the GOAT.
I'm joking.
Mike's the
GOAT. But don't start talking about LeBron James.
Right. But here's the thing, though. Like, my wife understands at the end of the day that I have the ball. But she trusts me because I'm not hogging or the only one that has to shoot the ball at the end of the game.
That's right.
If she's open, I pass the ball. If she's better in paying the bills, I pass the ball, right? If she make more money than me, I don't care. I ain't intimidated. You know, it just depends on who's more educated, who's strong in that area. So it's we need the chauvinism, male chauvinism, or
not who's more educated as far as like going to college or anything like that.
Right.
Who's more knowledgeable in that in that situation.
Right.
Like if it comes to paying the bills,
yes,
who know how to pay these bills?
Right.
Who know how to get it done?
Yeah.
Who knows how to keep track of your checking account?
Right.
Like what's going in and what's coming out.
Right.
Because you can't just keep going out and ain't nothing coming in.
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
Or squandering the money.
Or
like,
squandering
I'm
the
the
money.
man, and I'm like, I'm the man. You know, give me your check. But no, I ain't paying the bills. I mean, that's ridiculous,
right.
You know. So we have to have humility and know that we're in it to win it. So we're in a game. We're fighting a game. We're running a race. Mm-hmm. So however we get to the end of the race is how we get to the end of that race. Mm-hmm. So if you have the ball or you're in control one day and I'm in control the next day, it's totally fine. But here's the thing, though, and I don't want to stick on this. Because,
hold on, wait.
Yes,
I want to. June made a comment. She said, "When you pour into your boo, how can they not submit?"
Oh man, that's true.
That is
true.
That's so good.
That is true.
That's so good. An empty vessel can't and won't submit.
Absolutely
that is
not.
so very true.
Yeah.
It's just true. Like it's nothing else to say. There's no way I'm going to submit to
Danielle,
you.
don't log off.
Eugene, stop getting on Danielle's
That's
nerve.
right,
You playing too
submit
much.
to one another. Absolutely, Gabby.
Yes, submit
Yes,
to one
yes.
another. And yes,
Your husband.
Yes. And,
Your husband.
And
Let's make that clear.
We
I'm
do
gonna
have to
make-
pour
can-
into each other. We do. We have
Yes.
to pour into each other because submitting one to another, I can't if I ain't getting nothing or I'm empty. I don't have anything else to give.
Right.
So you got to freely give so that I can give it back to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right, babe. So it's really, do you want to win or do you want to win? I mean, do you want results or do you want to be right?
Right.
You know, so we remember, if you're in partnership, you got to be in true partnership.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter who's in control. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, the man is the man, and I think that the woman should give that man time to grow, give him space to grow. You know, I'm not implying that and that's how that
he go on a 10-year journey. Like, remember when Martin went on that little journey to find himself?
And then,
We not doing that. We
Right.
not doing that, bro.
Right.
You're not gonna go on a little journey to try to find yourself and expect for me to just be right here with you.
Right.
While you trying to find yourself. That's why we don't marry potential.
Right.
Women stop marrying
Ooh-wee.
potential.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
You
ball
know,
game.
see something in him and know
Right.
he's going to fulfill
Right.
it.
That's why I said one of the most important things to know about a man or a woman is the way that they think. You gotta understand how they think. Because like I said earlier, a broke man with a great mindset can be a rich man tomorrow. You know, so you gotta think about, how do they think? What do they think about my mother? What do they think about commitment? Mm-hmm. What do they think about money? What do they think about education? Mm-hmm. What do they think about themselves? Mm-hmm. Ultimately, what do they think about me? So mindset, that's one of the most important areas of readiness that you need to prepare for,
Mm-hmm.
because you can overcome a lot of things if you have the right mindset. For instance, my wife's emotions might say, he don't love me, you know, and that's a strong. Emotions are very powerful.
Yeah, they will
However,
lie. Emotions will lie.
they will lie. So, but if you sit back and think like, you know what, that's not right, and I'm gonna pull that thing down. I'm gonna eliminate it from my mind so that it won't get into my heart. You know, so if you have the right mindset, you can overcome so many things. Right?
That's why people be like, we fell out of love because them emotions didn't lie to you.
Yeah.
You don't fall out of love.
Right.
Listen,
Right.
love is just a choice.
Love is
It's a decision.
It's an inner revelation. It's beyond the feeling. Right?
It don't have nothing to do with my emotions. I might feel a little certain way when he come around, but it ain't got nothing to do with my emotions.
Right.
I love you because I decided to.
Absolutely.
I roll with you because I chose to.
Right.
I'm rocking with you no matter what, because I made that choice in my mind a long time ago.
Right.
And it ain't got nothing to do with how you make me feel today. That's a bonus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm rocking with you because I chose to, and I honor my commitments.
Right.
Period. Like, period. It don't even matter.
Right.
We gonna see our way through because I honor my commitments, and I would hope that you honor yours.
Absolutely. And I'm eating right now, so you're
And
doing
you
a good
are
job.
eating.
So you can
Why
go
are
ahead.
you eating?
This ain't fake. You want to do all staging and stuff. I'm trying to eat.
I just don't want. He is
brother
stuffing
need to
his
eat.
face, like,
Brother
for
need to
real,
eat,
for
right?
real.
Right. You know, a man way to a man's heart. That's how you got me, girl.
Listen.
Remember, you used to cook that spaghetti and all that stuff. The That's how you got me. Where you think I'm with you? Because I love you?
Cause I love ain't got nothing to do
Love
with
has
this.
absolutely no. It doesn't.
Listen.
No.
Shut up.
Seriously, but now we just want to move on because we don't have a lot of time and we don't want to hold you guys because you got a lot to do. You got a lot of places to go, right?
We got a lot of places to
Yeah.
go right now.
Right. So I got to ask you a question, all right? And I want you guys to be honest. I want you to rate your readiness. Rate your readiness. So, for example, you know, we have the three areas of relationship readiness. We have financial, we have mental, and emotional. So I want you to rank the highest from the least. So if you're more strong in the financial area, put 1. If mental is number 2, put 2. And if emotional, number 3. All right? So y'all can do that while I eat a little bit.
What were you, baby? What would you think? What would you say? You want me to tell you what I would?
You know what? I want, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So for me, I was more mentally ready.
So that's number 1.
So that would be number 1 for me.
Right. Mine too.
I was more mentally ready when we got married because I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I was strong in that area. Right. Pastor Bethel counseled us, and he just put a stamp on what we had already felt in our hearts. And he said, y'all gonna be okay. That's what he said. And when he told us that, man, oh man, it just did something.
Yeah.
It really did. It was like, I felt it already, but he was like, y'all gonna be all right. And so we ran with that. I was emotionally ready because I hadn't had a lot of wounds in my life. I hadn't had many relationships. I had one serious.
It's blurred. When you have
I had 2 serious relationships before. Yes, baby.
Yeah.
I had 2. He's
Yeah, so bring it back.
okay.
He's
He's so technologically savvy. And
We can't get
it's
out of
gotta be
focus. You know, it got to be in focus.
so listen, I had maybe
There
2
we go.
real relationships before me and my husband got married. So there weren't any scars. Who said something? Eugene? Is he messing with
Said
Danielle?
4, none of the above.
Eugene.
I hate it, bro. It's a struggle. I hate it.
Listen. So I didn't have any scars coming in emotionally. I was ready. You know, I had maybe a little past hurt or disappointment that I may
feel you,
have
Gina.
dealt with, but it wasn't anything serious that would make him have to work extra hard to fix. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But like I said, that doggone finances.
Oh yeah. Oh, it
Them
sucked.
doggone that checkbook
Oh man.
was on a
Oh,
negative
man.
0.0000000.
Yeah, that bad boy wasn't right. It was watered down real good.
Okay?
Right.
For real. Like I told you, I lost my job as soon as I moved in. I moved in March 5th and my job was gone March 15th.
Yeah. Ooh.
And I remember I wasn't going to tell my mama that I lost my job because I didn't want her worrying about me, right? But see, I had already had my whole life planned out because I'm a thinker. I'd be ahead of the game. I had already bought 100 boxes of cereal just in case it got a little rough for me because I was, I was working and I was on my own. I literally had 100 boxes of cereal in my pantry. That way I was never going to be hungry. Okay. So then, let me see. I remember I was going to the church and I was going to Word of Light and I went in the offering room. My mama was doing the little tithes and offering counting and stuff. And then she said, Toy, give me $50. I walked out the room because I had to think about it. Like, man, I ain't got $50, but if I don't give her the $50, she gonna know I ain't got no job, right? Or she gonna know something wrong. Cause
right.
If I got it, you can have it.
Right.
Man. She asked me again and I was trying to like hold it in and I was like, I ain't got no job.
And you just moved. So check this out. Who held you down?
Rain, sleet, or snow.
Who held you down?
He rocked it out.
I had my place. She had her place.
He rocked it out.
I did my thing.
Unemployment came
peanuts,
through.
I made sure that I took care of you.
But financially, we were not in a good place when we started out.
Not.
So that's all I'm saying. Yeah. I say all of that to say financially, we were in a horrible place.
Right. So let's read a few of these here.
Yes. What
we have Danielle said, I was strong financially as one, and I thought I was mentally and emotionally, but in hindsight, I wasn't. Thank you for being honest, Danielle.
That's good, Danielle.
That's very good. That's very good. We were upside. You can probably turn that upside down. Financially, we were done, but I think mentally, for me, mental was number one, emotional was number two, and financial was number three. Daniel said I wasn't ready in no way.
Daniel,
I feel you,
listen, bro. I feel you.
I feel you.
It when you think about it. Because when you in the moment, you living for it, right? You going all in. Listen, we gonna do this.
Right.
I ain't ready. I kind of know I ain't ready, but we gonna do this anyway.
Right. And we're gonna talk about some of the reasons why people rush or make these decisions.
Man.
So we're gonna get into that. So let's.
But I feel you, Daniel, because we probably, if we think about it, we definitely shouldn't have got married because we weren't in a good place financially.
We didn't. We could have waited.
We could have waited.
Right.
Yes.
We made
at that point, we could have waited.
I think we made the right decision, right? Credit good now. Don't touch my credit now. We got out of debt. We doing well. We've never had to ask anybody for nothing.
That's right.
Thank God.
Thank God.
If we struggle, we made it work. So we are extremely blessed. So let's read a few more of these.
Okay.
Delana said that financially, but not yet mentally or emotionally. Gabby said mentally, emotionally, but not financially yet. Daniel said, I thought I was ready because I loved God. I didn't know myself, relationships, or life. I confused loving God with being emotionally and mentally ready, bro.
That is good stuff,
That is amazing.
Daniel.
And thank you for your transparency because a lot of us go through that, right?
Daniel, but that's that spirituality, right? Because we want to be right, and spiritually, this is what we should do. And because that's the way we know, that's what we go for. And it's not always the right move at that time.
Right.
Because sometimes you got to progress in life. You got to go through certain things. You got to learn certain things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because you in a relationship with somebody and y'all been together for, I don't know how many years, don't mean y'all necessarily ready to be married. And you shouldn't feel forced to do it.
Right. And I hope some of the single people here that are in a current relationship or want to be in a relationship, that you hear some of these things, And like we said before, we're not implying that you have to be perfect, but you got to be self-aware.
Yeah.
And no, really, readiness is defined by individuals. So you got to ask yourself, do you have a clear idea of what your expectations are, what the other person's expectations are, what you're willing to have or take or not, So for instance, like, if you guys are willing to live in a 1-bedroom apartment until you guys get into your career, that's fine. So know this. Look, you can't be all fancy.
Yeah.
Those dinners that you want to have, you got to understand that you won't be able to get those. That Coach purse that you want, your husband, or your boyfriend, he's in college, so he can't provide that for you. So you got to be really self-aware and know what you're getting into.
And some people are okay with that. And that is okay. okay.
Right.
Because it's different for everybody.
Right.
Because somebody might be okay with that.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
fine. Yeah.
And then on the flip side, somebody might be like, no, if he can't buy me a big old house in Southfield, if I can't have this, if I ain't driving this, then no, we can't. Or you always had a girl who be like, if he don't buy me this kind of ring, or it's like,
boy,
what? Like, sis,
crazy.
you're going to always be single.
That's
if that's
mindset.
all you
that
thinking
has a lot
about,
to do with mindset.
that you're going to be single because you don't have nothing else to offer. All you thinking about is a ring. Don't nobody even care about that. I don't even wear that ring,
Right.
okay?
You know what? Let us tell you about a ring. You know what?
Ooh.
My wife wore who? Your grandmother's ring?
No.
Whose ring was that?
It was mom's ring when we got married.
We got married.
In Pastor Bethel's office.
Right. Check out our ring now, though.
Shut up. We didn't have a ring for a long time.
Yeah.
Because we was broke.
Yeah, because we were broke.
I didn't wear no ring. So a lot of times I go out of the house and I never have on a ring because it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, that doesn't matter.
Right.
That don't put a stamp on your relationship because you got a cold ring. Like, don't nobody care, sis. You can have a cold ring and a horrible relationship. And what does that mean?
No, a cold ring and a cold relationship.
Oh, a cold ring.
A cold ring and a cold
relationship.
But that's neither here nor there. But let's read a few more comments, baby. And let's move on because we only got a few minutes because they got to go and do something else.
Shut up.
A lot of things are open right now. They want to go on a real date.
Listen.
They ain't got time to be messing with us. Hey, Sharita, what's going on?
Danielle says you got to be realistic with your expectations. Don't get married because you want to really bad, but you can't make it through the struggle. It's real.
That's
it
right.
is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, Danielle. I don't have my glasses
so you
on. I
gotta
can't
fight.
see.
You know, there's a lot of things we can dig into about fight. You know, perseverance, consistency. You know, commitment, covenant. The whole we can go so deep.
Yeah.
However, there are a few like Devon said that he was good across the board. All right, thank God for you, brother. Good, because most aren't. You were extremely blessed.
You
bro.
are very rare.
We got Sola. Okay, he said societal pressures #1 reason people rush. We're gonna get into that, but that's it's definitely accurate, my brother. Let's see.
Satara said, in my first marriage, I was one on all fronts.
I feel you,
girl.
Sis. You know what? Thank you.
That's
for your
honesty, though. That's like being what does it do for us to say that we weren't right? Or that we had it all together?
Right.
Listen, sis, I ain't have it together.
Right.
I was struggling out here. I was broke financially. Yes, I called White Castles and was like, y'all messed up my meal,
so we can get
so that I can get a free double cheeseburger next Tuesday. Put my name in the book, sis. Put my name in the book.
That's terrible.
Because we broke and we can't feed ourselves because I ain't got no job and he ain't got one. So we trying to figure it out.
Well, at that moment, it was
raining outside. He ain't had no job.
Let's be clear.
At that moment.
Let's be clear.
Okay. So all I'm saying is, who cares?
Right.
Like, we on the other side of it now, but listen, if you don't tell people the truth, how can they overcome?
Right. And the truth is that a lot of people, they may look at people like I see a lot of mature, wonderful people in here that like Eugene, the Norths, the Johnsons, Danielle and Delana, a lot of people with the Bethels, a lot of good people, Najma, the Treadwells, the Mitchells. I can go on and on about a lot of people that are great people. They're wonderful people, and a lot of people may look at your relationship and might admire it. But however, you know, if truth be told, we all had some mountains to climb.
That's right.
In order to shine. And the truth be told, we're still trying to purify ourselves. You grow as you go. You know, you fight battles all of the time, and you mature.
Yep.
You know, you grow and learn, but you have to be mature. You got to be willing to be self-aware and also be vulnerable sometimes and admit that you're wrong and really have a desire to change those areas so that you could be better, not just for yourself, but for your wife, and for your family, and for your whole legacy. You know, so truth be told, we all trying to get to that place. So look, don't idolize us, all right? You know, you can admire some good things, but you know what? We aren't Christ. We're not Jesus. You know, we still have areas that we need to that we struggle in. You know, we have areas that we need to get together. However, we are partners, right?
Yes, we are.
And we love each other, and we try our very best to do our very best, so that ultimately we can have a happy home
life.
when these kids get up out of here.
Yeah. Oh.
Right.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, that's what matters. Because eventually these kids gonna leave. Danielle and Eugene are cracking me up. I'm trying not to look at the feeds because these two are going at it and they are so funny. They husband and wife, y'all. He being childish.
That's right, Nora.
I'm with you, Danielle. He being childish.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. No,
Anyway, he childish. He
I'm reading the
childish.
comments. I'm not even paying attention to what you're saying. Like,
but that's the part that matters is that you can't put everything into them kids and then forget that you got to put something into this.
They're going to have to give us
because at the end,
they're going to have to cash at me for that information.
Because at the end of the day,
we can give some tips on that.
Them babies going to kiss you goodbye when they go off to college. They going to start their own life. They going to live it up. They going to call you every other, maybe Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? They gonna ask you for a little cash here and there. Mama, come pick me up. Do such and such.
Booooy.
Give me some gas money. I need some groceries. Can you pay my cell phone bill?
Right.
And then you got to be content with what you got at home. Like y'all had to have built something throughout those years. You know, you gotta have it. You gotta have them built something throughout those years to have some sustainability.
Right.
It can't just be all focused on, you know, the kids and everything else. You gotta focus on something else if you want to sustain a life together.
Absolutely. Now there are a few. We want to read a few comments and then we'll move on because we got just a couple more things that we want to run across you guys. Najma says, "Stop looking at someone else's lawn. Your grass can be green when you take care of it."
Sis.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's about maintenance. It's about maintaining and about sowing. You talked about that earlier, about sowing. Remember? Before we got on here, you said if you sow things into your relationship or put effort into it, you'll get something out of it.
Oh, yeah. You know, like that relationship.
It's like an ATM pretty much.
It's like a garden.
Right? It's like and an ATM. Think about it. You can't go to the ATM with your little Chase card and you ain't put nothing in the bank. You ain't deposit nothing, but you trying to get $20.
Our kids used to say it all the time.
I don't care how much you try to put that thing in there. You ain't getting no money back. Right.
Peyton used to think that your debit card was just automatic. You can just go up there, get you something, use your debit card, buy you something. You can get whatever you want with your debit card. I said, baby, it ain't nothing on that debit card if ain't nobody worked to put nothing in there.
Right.
But it's just like your relationship is like a garden. You can plant whatever you want and you can have whatever you desire.
Right.
It may take a little bit more time to tool the ground.
Some
you know
of
what
y'all
I'm saying?
got some thorns in y'all, some little weeds.
Shut up,
that
boy.
you got to pluck up before you actually get a true garden.
But you can have what you want. You really can. You can have what you want. If you want to have love, sow love.
Yeah.
You want to have compassion, sow compassion.
That's right, Dennis.
You want to have romance, sow romance.
Yeah.
You can't be all like all day and be like, why you won't love me? Yeah. Why you won't give me no hug? Why you don't hug me or hold me softly? Like, cause you a pit bull. That's why. I'm trying to pet your head and you like, Arr.
Yeah,
can't be like that, ladies.
Absolutely.
You know,
Jen said love deposits. Absolutely.
Love deposits. Put them in the bank because it matters. It counts.
Absolutely.
Because you can withdraw from it like later on. You really can.
Right. And here's the thing, though. Here's the complicated part is that I don't want to get deep into it, but a lot of people have been depositing. They have been doing what they can do or doing trying to love that person with all of their soul and energy, you know, providing, trying to be patient. But some people are so wounded, you know, and it takes a lot of patience. You know, it takes a lot of selflessness and a lot of endurance to be able to crack that code, you know? So if you're struggling with that, look, if they're worth it, you know what, just keep on fighting, you know, keep on turning that, what do you call it? The combination until you get it. Because we talked about readiness, and the reality is that some people got into relationships and they're so broken that they're a piece of work.
Yep.
They're not just a fixer-upper. That engine gone on that car, you know, that heart, that you know, they're broken, and it takes a hero or a strong person to go and find something that's broken and put that thing back together. So I want to encourage y'all, look, if she's worth fighting for, he's worth fighting for. If you know that they love you and they're in your corner, keep on doing that. You know, although you may not be getting a return now, but if you continue to make those deposits, I guarantee it'll be worth the fight, right? Because we did.
Yeah. You got to know it's worth it, though. You have to know it's worth it. And especially if it's your spouse, you have to know it's worth it. Long suffering, yes. Yeah. But if you're just in a relationship and it's not working out and you don't see it, you got to know when to cut it off, too.
Yeah. Like, and we're talking about marital relationships now, too. I'm not saying that you don't sacrifice.
It took me a long time to learn it, too, sis. A long time.
Right. Because I'm not saying, if he ain't put a finger on it, he ain't made that true, a finger on it. Yeah, no, a finger.
Why you put a finger on it? I'm nervous.
No, if you don't put a ring on it.
Wait 1 minute.
No, if you don't put a ring on it.
Now you wait one.
Then we ain't talking about people that won't submit to you. We're not talking about people that aren't in covenant with you or not ready to commit. Let them fool you and say it's just a piece of paper if you want to, but it's bigger than that. But that's another time.
That's a whole nother topic.
So let's move on a little bit here, though. We want to talk about why some people rush. Why do people rush?
There are so many reasons why people rush.
But let's blow through these real quick if you don't mind.
Okay, so one of the biggest things that I know most women rush is because that biological clock is ticking, sis, and you ready. You starting to see kids walking around, and you want one, or oh my goodness, people that are desperate.
Yeah.
People for whatever. What, baby?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, my earring. I'm sorry.
Just going for it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but no, they desperate, and then biological clocks is ticking.
Right.
And they just want to hurry up and get it done.
Right.
They ain't thinking about the long haul of the relationship. They just want to hurry up and get it done.
Right.
They like, we've been together. Let's hurry up. Let's do this.
Yes.
Let's get married. Blah, blah, blah.
Eugene said fear of losing them.
Fear of losing.
Yes.
Yes.
Running
being
out of
alone.
time, running out of time because those eggs, they kind of dry up after a while.
Shut up.
I mean, it's the truth. And a lot of women seeing, people around them that's getting married. Mm-hmm. And they're like, when is it going to be my God? I believe in you. When is it going to be my turn?
Yeah.
So they begin to rush. And when you rush, you have accidents.
Ooh.
And a lot of times people jump in these relationships and they get something that they really didn't want.
Yes.
They begin to settle.
Yes.
And they'll get that man. He don't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know that he has other women. Mm-hmm. You know that he doesn't respect you.
Yeah. And he ain't ready.
Yeah, he ain't ready. Or she.
Ain't ready.
She's not ready.
Yeah.
But you settle because you feel that biological clock is ticking.
Or you think marriage is like a status symbol, like it makes you somebody.
Yes.
Like you arrived
to be alone.
or
That's
something.
right, Delana.
Like some people really get married because they think like, oh, let me show them.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
It make you somebody. Like
Right.
marriage don't make you,
No.
baby girl. If you ain't willing to put in that work, that ring, and run
that's
it down that aisle, don't mean nothing.
Right. But here's the
You
thing, though.
understand?
I always say this, babe, that
What, babe?
especially for women, women are like Mercedes-Benz. You stand alone great. You get a man, he's just a little accessory. You don't have to think
He like
about
the little thing on the keychain.
Exactly. A
The
woman,
little, the little symbol on the
right.
keychain. That's.
Right.
I'm joking. I'm sorry.
No, but seriously,
I'm
you have to know your value. Women, you need to know that you're standalone great. A Mercedes-Benz don't need gold rims or 20s or doesn't need any upgrades like
Right.
that. It's already wonderful.
Right.
So you got to know your value. And men, we just add to you. And women add to us. We make one another better. We come together as partners and we can do double of what we can do alone.
Yeah, that's true.
So another thing, babe, and Daniel just said it. One of the reasons that we probably got married to as well, and
What is it, Daniel? We already know.
Religious
reasons.
Because we're told, guys, that's the right thing to do, which it is the right thing to do. But we're told.
But if you ain't ready,
if you're not ready,
don't do it.
And plus, think about it. And I'm going to be blunt and real with you, right? A lot of people do it
There's
because.
no other way.
Huh?
There's no other way.
Yes. On top of that, a lot of people do it because
Sorry,
they
y'all.
enter into a sexual relationship, especially if you're raised with our background Christians. We're told, you have to wait until marriage, which I honor that. I totally believe that. However, majority, 99.9% of choir members are sleeping around.
Okay.
You
Or
got a
sleeping
boo.
together.
Oh, sleeping. Oh, no.
I'm just saying.
Right, exactly. But they are sleeping around, and a lot of times, you can't control your flesh like religion tell you to, or where God tell you to. You jump into a relationship because you want to be right. You want to be right. You want to be right with God. So that's. I want you to listen up, guys. Look, you just got to get that thing under control. If you want to honor, your religion or your beliefs, don't just jump into a relationship because that person looks spiritual or can raise their hands, or you in a sexual relationship.
Oh,
you guys got to just try to
goodness.
avoid certain things so that
Somebody
yes,
being able to pray real good don't mean he gonna be a good husband.
I'm telling you.
Like somebody being able to sing the house down don't mean they gonna be a good wife. Like, that don't mean nothing. Like, people still have other issues. Like, spirituality is a part of us. It don't encompass everything about us, because if it did, we would all be holy. We would all be changed. We would all be renewed. We would all know the right way. We would all have it all together, and then we would have no need for a savior, right? But
are you preaching?
We can't.
We ain't trying to preach. We ain't doing that right now.
We have to get a. We truly have to. Shut up, boy. We truly got to get away. We got to get away from that. Yeah. That is never something I'm going to push on my children, because why? Get married and live an unhappy life because you weren't ready. Right. Get married because that's what, you burning, like, go ahead. No, like, no. Yeah. How about stop? How about just, if you feel convicted about something, how about stop? Was that ever an option?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we forget that that's an option? Like, just go on and get married. Right. Like, no, how about you tell me to stop?
Because you want to do it because it's right. Yes. Which I understand, but you got to be ready. Because God will only do what you can't do.
That's right.
So we got to get those. We got to get our flesh or whatever, or try to, maybe she can't come over at 12 at night. But to be honest, we didn't have victory in that area.
We did not have victory in that area.
So we knew that we love one another. So we went ahead and did what was right. In the sight of God. However, we struggled because we did make that decision, but we did have the mindset that we were in it to win it.
That's right.
And we love one another, right? Another reason, which it was already
But it wasn't forced down our throat to do it because of religion. It was a decision that we made. It was just a choice that we decided. Like, hey, we were sitting on the couch one day and he said, yo, this is the honest to God, our conversation. We were sitting on the couch in our apartment at the Landings, and he said, yo, you going anywhere? I said, no. I said, you going anywhere? He said, no. He said, you want to get married? I said, yeah. He said, yeah. And 2 weeks later, we went and got married. Like, it was not, it was like,
ever.
We don't have a romantic love story. This really is what it is. Like, and I love him no less. Like, it was the best decision that we could have ever made.
What'd you say? No, that you?
No, it was the best decision that he could have ever made, because I'm the best thing for him.
You are.
So he made it a wonderful decision. How couldn't he?
Right. I want to read a few of these comments. Okay. Dennis says, by letter or by faith? Absolutely. June said, tell it. Danielle said, dang, that many? Facts. We got some facts in here. We got it's hard work. Absolutely.
So Tara, we was pregnant too, girl. We miscarried, but we was pregnant too. We were. And it was like, going to get married. And I was like,
Yeah. And you're right, Danielle. You said, but look at y'all. Praise God. Absolutely.
Yep. Amen.
And that's the thing, that's why that's why we do what we do, though, to be honest, because I know how it is to be tormented or down or heartbroken or not just get pain, but give pain, and to be in a broken relationship and to be divorced, because this is my second go around. So I had to learn some things. I had to see myself. I had to grow as a person. And as we got together, although we started at the bottom, we climbed our way up to the top. Although we're still learning, we're still growing, but people look at us right now and to be honest, they look at us as an example. And that's why we do what we do to let people know that not just that they can have a successful relationship, but that, look, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
That you can have what you have, but you have to become partners. You have to love one another. You have to honor that commitment and know that you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of components to a successful relationship. However, we just do our best, right?
That's all we can do. And that's all anybody can do, right? Is do your very best. Like, give it your all. Like, give it your all. Right. Even when you've been pushed to the limit and you feel like you have nothing else to give.
Right.
Give it a little more.
Right. Dust it off. Dust off that.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it's worth it. Yeah. It might not seem like it's worth it now because maybe y'all just at odds. Who knows? I don't know.
Right.
But see it through.
Right.
And then if it doesn't work, you can say to yourself, I gave it my all. I gave it my all.
Right. And that's the thing, honey. Like, a lot of people might be watching now because they saw the title and they were interested in that title, you know, and here's facts. A lot of people are struggling, you know, and a lot of people are thinking, did I make the right decision? And a lot of times we did make the right decision. But the question is this, even if through the struggle, are you willing to fight? Are you willing to learn and grow? And people aren't willing to learn and grow. So if you have what you have, work with what you have.
That's right.
You know, I know he might be a knucklehead sometimes, but work with that guy. It ain't nothing out here. You know, work with her.
Right.
You know, I know he might need to mature a little more. I know he might be a little slow. I know that he might not make the best decisions. However, let's try to work with one another, right? Because if you stick it through, I'm telling you, it's so rewarding. I remember there was a time we would go and try to rent houses, and we would get denied, and it would really irk me. You know, we were over $10,000 in debt.
Which isn't much,
yes,
right?
But for us at the time.
But at that time, it was a handful to us,
right? But
you know?
but through as time went on, we said, you know what? We're gonna own a home. We're gonna dig ourselves out of this slump.
Yeah.
And we did it, and because we worked together, we're able to indulge or be able to see the fruits of our labor, you know, by having a home that we enjoy, a beautiful home, and having children that we love and we enjoy sometimes, you know. So it's really about endurance, you know. But let's move on, man. Move on real quick. Another reason here is that you have children together, which somebody said. Who said that earlier? So Tara, I think, said that they had children together. Yeah, a lot of people rush because they have children together. Nah. Of course, I'm an advocate for a husband and wife or a full family, if you will, right? Of course, we endorse that. However, you know, if y'all are not compatible and if y'all don't love one another, you're gonna have to raise that child separately.
Yeah.
You know, if it was up to me, of course, I don't encourage that, because there's nothing like a 2-family household with that man, because there's something about that man presence, that male presence, especially in the Black community, is very important.
Yeah.
That we be present. So if you can settle your differences, if you do love that person, go for it. However, if you know that you're not compatible, if you know that you're not truly interested, if you know that that man is no good or that woman doesn't have the capacity to be a wife, don't do it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to do it. So they do it because they have kids together. Another one, which you said earlier, is that a lot of people are desperate. They just insecure.
A lot of people just don't want to be by themselves.
In love with love, want to be married.
Ooh, in love with love.
And they just desperate.
You ever had a friend who, like, always in a relationship? Like, it'd be like 2 weeks later after they got out of a relationship, they in another relationship, and they in love. Like for real, I want you to meet them. And you be like, oh God, here we go again. But they are infatuated with love. Like they horrible in relationships, but they don't see it because they just infatuated with the feeling of being loved.
Right.
Please don't get married for that reason.
Right.
Because that feeling, you will lose.
Yeah.
It will go like this.
Yeah.
It will be roller coaster rides.
Right.
All throughout your marriage.
Yeah, it will.
It will never feel like this.
Unless until two people mature.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
But
even so,
yes.
Steve got on my nerve today.
Oh, yeah,
Did I feel like we were in a loving place? No.
You didn't?
No, we had a good day. Maybe the other day. He get on my nerves sometimes. It don't always feel like
tripping, girl.
It don't always feel like, ooh, we in love. I don't ever feel like that. Like, and I'm not saying that.
Feel like that.
I'm not saying that to be funny. Like,
you don't feel butterflies?
I mean, sometimes when you like kiss me on the back of my neck and stuff,
sometimes,
like, yeah, I be feeling on butterflies.
I put those hands on her,
you
then
give
she
me
wanna
butterflies inside. No, but I'm saying, like, seriously.
Right.